What's up guys, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make modern deep house. In my opinion, the sound of deep house changes every 5 years or so, right? A few years ago it was more like EDM. Now it's like this more minimal deep tech type of stuff, and that's what I'm going to be showing you how to make in this video. As usual, you can get the full project files, samples, MIDI presets, everything that you just heard, and the intro for this video is available right at the top of the description for just $5. Definitely go grab that. It really helps support me. Plus, if you guys enjoyed these videos, you can get a really solid template to take your tracks to the next level. So yeah, thanks so much for the support, guys, and let's dive in. So this is the project. We're at 128 BPM. The first thing we've got here is the vocal. So it's mostly just taking this. It's just that one phrase, which you can see, obviously it's in key with everything, we play it with the bass line. Right, you got the vocal just fitting in key with this, and then it's just taking that little phrase and chopping it, here we do. Or even here. So it's just really playing with what's there, even if it's a short sample, rather than going and actually putting in a new vocal sample there, right? And then for the actual effects on this, so we've got just a bit of echo and reverb, a little bit of drum bus to make it a bit fatter and kind of more textured, and then just a high pass filter. Then we have this little crash. So this is just going through a little bit of echo you can see on corner notes. So the secret to this is it's this full crash, which you just take that little part at the beginning, just to. Because I think if you have this long crash here, what's gonna happen is it's not really gonna fit into the groove as well, compared to just the. So yeah, then I've just got a clap here. Pretty standard stuff. We're just gonna keep it dry, just a nice fat clap sample, and then just letting it play through in the mix. I also have all the background percussion, which you can hear. So it's a few different things. We have this little sound. Just a little tiny rim shot. We've got these two playing off each other. There's also that rim shot there. There's a drum rack with some different percussions. And then this little bell sound. So it's pretty simple, but you notice there's a lot of attention to detail here, right? These are actually some pretty, nuanced little percussions here, right? You really don't want to just do, one or two. You need to have, this is 6 of these. That's. When you listen to it on its own, that's why I like grouping these together. You can kind of really hear how this is all coming together to create one thing. And that comes from each individual little sound there. So you gotta put the time in on those. And then, we don't even have any effects on the group. Pretty simple. I do like grouping these because for mixing purposes, you could just go and turn all your percussion down really quick. Then we have our main hi-hat. So it's just this short, punchy one. And then this one, which is just a lot brighter in the high end. And then you put those together, and you get one really full hi-hat. And again, no processing on the group there. Small detail also, there's this little part at the end. You notice I only had the high one play there. Then we have our background hi-hats. So you can see we have this shaker here. So that's just going through this auto pan, making it bounce from left to right. We have a high pass filter, and then this other auto pan which makes it bounce off the kick. Got these. A shaker. 909 hi-hat. And this is a nice technique. If you want to get kind of 2 percussion sounds out of 1 percussion, especially with a shaker like this, it's just playing it at 2 different pitches. It's 2 completely different shakers. Then we have the kick. Just a nice fat, punchy 909. that's really what you're looking for. For this type of deep house, it's just like these really powerful 909 kicks. Like this one is straight out of a 909. And it's just like really embracing that punch that's already there. Versus like, you know, you could go and try to do a bunch of compression and saturation and layer this together with like 4 different things. But it's like, it's really just getting like that good sound right out of the bat. Right off the bat. And then just mixing it so it's right on top of the mix. Then we have the bass line. So this bass line is playing the chord progression for the track. And what this chord progression is it's A sharp minor, F minor, F sharp major, G sharp major, and then you notice we resolve again back on the A sharp minor. So that's something you want to make sure of. When you're doing these kinds of chord progressions, essentially like for these types of tracks, when a lot of times it's just like 1 or 2 notes, but if you do want to do a chord progression, you just got to make sure that you come back to that first chord before it comes back here. Like, because it's just going to make it like really feel like one very like tight, resolved phrase, essentially. Versus like if we just stay on that last chord. See, it's not quite as impactful actually. It's a really subtle thing, but again, it's these little tiny details that make the big picture. And then for the sound, you'll notice it's actually very, very simple. So it's literally just this operator patch. We're not using any FM though. You can see when you click on this FM algorithm here, that just makes it so they're all playing side by side. So we've got a saw wave, a sine wave, and then a square wave. And then those are going into a low pass with an envelope. And it's just a nice punchy bass. And again, it's like I was saying with the kick. It's like, you know, you could make like a not so great synth sound and then go and sit there with saturation and compression for an hour and sit there and go like, oh yeah, like I've got the perfect release on the compressor to make the bass longer. But it's like, dude, just make a good synth sound. Right? So we've got that. And then it's being sidechained. And that's it. And then on the group, again, nothing. Just keeping it super clean. They're playing side by side. Then we have this house organ. So yeah, you can hear that playing with the bass line there. So this is like that classic house organ. Obviously, like, deep house wouldn't really be complete without it. So the idea with this is that this is just going to stick around like this one main note here, which this organ sample is at a weird pitch, so you can ignore it. This is actually an A sharp, even though it says C sharp. You can see it's just this like groovy melody, and then you put that with the bass line. And you can see it grooves really nicely over top of that. And that's just going through this really short reverb. You can see I turned down the K time and the size to make it kind of like a smaller room. It's being sidechained to the cake. And then just a high pass filter, because this actually does have a lot of bass. If I turn that off. So you wouldn't really want that in your mix. So yeah, and then we have some stabs, which... So these are both made using operators. So these are actually like some FM synthesis stabs. You can see this first one is just 2 sine waves. Pretty simple. The secret though is the second sine wave has a shorter envelope. So you're getting that quick little like pluck there. And yeah, you can see I've got them detuned a little. We just got some chorus. And then this echo and reverb, which you'll notice these are automating. So basically like, so you get that like, and then it stops. And it's really subtle, but you can hear that. And then for the second one, so this one's a little bit more complex. This is a saw wave with a sine wave and then another sine wave. You can see the first oscillator is actually an octave up, which kind of gives you a cool sound when you're doing FM. I've got a low pass filter here with a bit of an envelope on it. And then I have an LFO on the filter cutoff to just give it some movement. And then the last thing is just an echo. Pretty simple. These are very simple to make, actually, right? It's really about how they're grooving with everything else. Like, if you listen to this with the bass line and that house organ, right? Like, you're getting, like, already so much groove right there just in this, like, that dum 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 between the bass and the house organ. And then now you add in, right? So it's, like, really adding that swing and that groove to the track. And even this one. So that's how you want to think about those. And then we have some stabs that are made with audio samples as well. So these are really popular in these types of tracks too. Like, I don't think you want to do only synthesis for these stabs, but you also don't want to do only samples. But essentially, like, combining them both, you get a really good sound. Because, like, with these, like, you can see, it's a lot more organic. Right? Like, we have, like, this. This is actually a sample. And then what I did, I'll play you the original sample here. Right? And then what we're doing is I've taken this and put it through a bandpass filter. So if you look at that, yeah, you can see the bandpass, and then it's got an envelope on it. And yeah, you get kind of like a cool feel from that. And I think, again, like, if you only do the synth stabs, you kind of, it's just not going to sound right. But also, if you only do these, you know, you want to have something interesting in there with the synth, too. Okay, you can hear how that fits really nicely in there. And these don't even need reverb. You know, you don't always need reverb and echo. Like, if you have a nice atmospheric track going already, really that stuff, especially with these, it's just going to clog up the mix a little bit. So it's like better to really just keep it dry, because you wouldn't really notice that much reverb on there anyway. And the last thing we have down here is this pad. So this is following the chord progression. You can see we're doing A sharp, minor, F minor, F sharp major. So just like I was showing you with the bass line, right? But then what's happening is these are actually, so this first one is a minor 9 chord. So we have our root note, minor third, and our fifth. That would be like a normal A sharp minor chord. And then we have our minor 7th, and then our 9th there. So you get this more jazzy thing. And then over here, these are just minor 7, major 7. But I kind of took them and spread them out across the keyboard a little bit. Yeah, you can see that. So that's like, and then we just did that. And then for the synth sound, this one is made with analog. So we've got a square wave and a saw wave, same octave, detuned a little bit, going into a low pass filter. And the secret to this one is we have an LFO and an envelope. So you're getting that opening from the LFO, or from the envelope. And then the LFO is giving it like a if I turn that up more, yeah, you can hear it. So it's kind of like both of those coming together to create the sound. We get the amp envelope like that, and then I just have a bit of vibrato, unison, and then we just have some reverb, a high pass filter, and it's being sidechained to the kick. And that is it for the pad. And that is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets. Every single thing from this video is available right at the top of the description. So you can go and make your own really nice track out of this. I think this is a really solid template. And it'll help you take your tracks to the next level. And you'll be making better tracks and getting where you want to be in no time. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And I will see you tomorrow with another video.